YouTube. What's up, fellas? Listen, I did a video. I did two videos actually. One was on Cern, the Stargate Cern, dealing with opening portals. The other one was like how CERN could be used to, in the cloning of Hitler. It was more of a theoretical possibility than I don't necessarily believe that, but I thought it was interesting. It would be good to write as a novel, wouldn't it? Either way, I won't get into that. I just want to tell you, like, this is called the devil's playground, the devil's toy. God says he will come in all kinds of signs. He'll come doing all kinds of, hold on a second. He would come doing signs and wonders, causing fire to come down from heaven. Well, that can be done today, you see. I think we're closer than we thought we were. Well, there are three in particular, four if you count nanotechnology. You can make viruses and put them on nanobots and drop them, and then when you want to use Haarp to turn on the frequency and they kill populations at a time. Okay, Haarp is a machine. It's a high active auroral research project. Now, it was designed as a project of communications, but it was quickly militarized. It spits 1 billion watts into the atmosphere, heating up the ionosphere, which is where all electric charge comes from, where our weather patterns come from. Well, there's a Air Force document called Owning the Weather by 2025. And people will say, oh, that's silly. There's no way you could use technology to move a cloud. I beg to differ. And you need to go search out Haarp right quick. And especially the actual blueprints or the reason it was built. It can move a hurricane. It can cause earthquakes. It could cause the earth to heat up or cool down in certain places. It can even tune into a single frequency of a person and cause them to be hearing voices when nobody else is. This thing is a weapon from the start. Okay. Also, there's the Vatican telescope. It's the most powerful infrared telescope on Earth. Yet, what is the Vatican looking for? What are they expecting? Why do they need a telescope? And the name of it, no less, is Lucifer. Masons, Illuminati, Shriners, whether they'll admit it or not, at the top, they worship Lucifer. They believe Lucifer, here's what they believe, that God was a tyrant and held Adam and Eve slave in a garden to work his garden. And that Satan thought that was unfair, so he brought them the gift of knowledge and intellect. Like the Statue of Liberty holds that torch. That's the goddess Columbia, as in District of Columbia. And the torch represents light bearer. The guy that made it was 33rd degree Mason. George Washington was 33rd degree. George Washington was an Illuminati. He, in fact, wrote a letter and said he admonished and thought that they had been infiltrated by some Illuminati that weren't necessarily what he wanted. But Ben Franklin, a lot of them were. Many presidents were. And if you look back far enough, all presidents are kin. They keep it in the bloodline. These demons are serious. Well, speaking of that, I know of a, look up Roger Morneau, Roger Morneau or Mornio. He's an ex-musician, and he was a Satanist. And he said the way they look at it was more like, well, there was a misunderstanding in heaven, and that's why the angels and Satan got kicked out, but that Jesus was going to renounce his throne because it's rightfully Satan's, and that all will be well, and you'll be promised wealth, and they even highly esteem evolutionary people, and they're going to notice all this new stuff about spirituality and new age. The antichrist is going to come. The Messiah that the Mahdi that the Muslims are looking for is said to have only have one eye and sleeping dormant somewhere, waiting on the day, which I find odd, is because that's what I meant about Hitler. What if they took his body? Because there was a ritual on the day he died that him and his opposite, or a person in their opposite, would be resurrected to come again in the future to save Germany and turn the whole world into Germany. Well, the Muslims say the same thing. and people will believe it. You see the all-seeing eye everywhere, and the eye of Horus, and how it relates to Satan, the eye in the pyramid, the eye in the triangle, even Time Warner's logo. You can find it all in logos. It's actually Saturn worship, which is Satan worship. You read in the Bible where it talks of the women weeping for Tammuz. Tammuz is the son of Nimrod and Semiramis, where all these mystery New Age religions began and made their way to Egypt, okay? Right after the flood, okay? Now, if there were Nephilim in the days before Noah for almost 2,000 years and they had offspring, God locked those angels in chains of darkness so they couldn't do it again. So there's no way that after God wiped out the world because of that, Noah was perfect in his generations. That's why God spared Noah. Doesn't say anything about his wives or his sons' wives or even, I don't know. But what I will say is, hold on a second. Okay. What I do know is that one of them must have carried the angelic gene, and probably Ham especially, or the wives, or even Noah's wife. Now, we don't know that was Noah's first wife, and it doesn't say she was perfect in her generations, but to uncover your father's nakedness in Leviticus and Deuteronomy means to sleep with his wife. Now, I don't know that Ham slept with his mother, but he did sleep with Noah's wife, and made cursed Cain, but he really didn't curse Cain. He cursed the son of Cain, Canaan. I mean, not Cain. I'm sorry, Ham. He cursed Canaan, not for what Ham did. Now, what's the big deal about seeing your father laying there naked? Why would he not curse Ham but curse his son if it wasn't sexual? I believe that the Nephilim got through that boat because of that reason. Nimrod, I believe, was a giant, as the same word, a mighty hunter before God, is used to describe the Nephilim in Genesis 6. And what happens here's what Cern smashes protons together, okay? That causes fusion and a lot of energy to be released, okay? And it opens portals, it opens black holes, it starts strangeless. And they know this, and they'll admit this. But there's been reports of people seeing things. Their logo at CERN is 666. There is a statue of Shiva, the god of destruction, dancing in a ring of fire as a statue just outside the CERN building in Switzerland. It's funny that, what if it did cause a black hole that they couldn't shut off? Is it Ezekiel that says, I saw, or John says, I saw the heavens roll up as a scroll? Think of a spiral portal there. And there's references to it all over the place. What I'm worried about is they're going to use that. They're going to use Haarp to turn on these nanobots that do whatever. They're going to use Cern as the key, APOLLYON's key to open the abyss that the Antichrist comes out of. And whether it's his spirit and he's put into a clone body or a humanistic body, that's what I was getting with the Hitler thing, but that's neither here nor there. All I know is they're opening up, they're taking down the magnetic field by using it, and that's probably what's keeping Satan and the angels from manifesting on earth as men, you know what I mean? Like, it can be done in certain ways, but their offspring don't have a body, but they're eternal. That's what I think the possessions are. So they're looking for bodies, and clone bodies would do the trick, or transhumanism would do the trick. But say they turn CERN on, and they cause these nanobots to turn on. Think about chemtrails. Planes fly by and spray out these chemicals. Now, usual contrail will dissipate about the same speed as the plane as it goes by. Chemtrails will leave checkerboard lines all the way across the sky, and it's a mist and it's dropping something. And a military friend of mine said it was bronchium, bromide, and strontium, and all kinds of things, and it causes trouble to the nervous system. It's slow kill. They want us all dead. They want the elite and they're trying to live forever, and that's about all there is to it. I'll have more on Cern as I get it. I'm going to do another video in about 15 minutes on something I think you guys will be really interested in, okay? All right.